Hi, we are here with Soulfire for Bliss Life Conversations. Hi,
Aloha.
Soulfire.
I'm in Hawaii, so we do the shaka and greet with aloha.
Aloha. What's the shaka?
That's these two fingers. It means hang loose.
Look at me. Oh, I got to learn how to hang loose with my fingers. They're all stiff.
Yeah, you gotta be loose with the shaka. You can't be like hang loose. So
that one. So we're here to talk to Soulfire. She is my soul sister, about her new book, You Are Your Own Beloved. It's amazing because she always seems to be in tune with the collective energy. Right now, it seems to be the cool thing to constantly talk about self-care and loving yourself. And everywhere we see self-care, love yourself. The new status on Valentine's Day is self-love. But, you know, like I always say, there's a million quotes out there, but Soulfire has a story of her own life and how she actually implements self-love and how it actually helps her life to be blissful. And I'm gonna have her talk about what inspired her to write this incredible book.
thank you, Lori. Thank you for having me on your blissful show. And you look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
So yeah, You Are Your Own Beloved. That came from my own experience of being lost in the external world of looking for that love outside of myself, still looking for it in another man, partner. When I moved to Hawaii 3.5 years ago, I had this imagination, this sense of this mental projection that this land and this island and the people and this land of Hawaii was going to be my savior and rescue me. And I was going to meet the one. And so like I can go off into those imaginary mind loops a lot because I'm a Pisces and I like to dream and fantasize. And that's easy for me to do because it's nice and it's fun. So why not? But sometimes, you know, that is not to your best interest. So I had because it was strong in my mind. I have a very strong mind, which could work for me or against me. And so I was stuck in like this imagination. And then I was having a lot of difficulty when I first moved here. And I met somebody and we went into this over 2-year relationship, and it was up and down, and I was moving all over the place. I wasn't rooted, and I was just really, really challenged. And I realized that I wasn't living it 100%. And after I had written my first book, Fearless Freedom, Becoming Soulfire, I wasn't not still 100% living that. I had one toe back in the past, in the patterns and that self-sabotaging mind and the mind loops. And it's really what I come to realize, it's a programming that most of us, if we're alive today on this planet, have been subconsciously programmed to think that the beloved is outside of ourselves. And there's someone out there that's going to like save us and like make us whole and complete us. And it's a very strong program. And I kind of had that since I was a little girl, like that fairy tale, thinking I'm going to meet one, he's going to sweep me off my feet. And I want to live, I want my happy ever after. And, you know, and it's not to say that that won't happen, but what I had to learn was I have to love myself first, wholly and completely. And it wasn't necessarily loving just my human self, which is what I thought, which I feel like a lot of the world right now, when they talk about self-care and self-love, it's all about like, yeah, love your body and take care of yourself. And that's good. That's all good. And that's a start. But as a yogi and a spiritual teacher and someone that is determined to I've always been determined to be a seeker of the light and the truth. I wanted to know, like, for real, like, well, who am I really? I'm not just this human body, thank God, because this human body it's going to change and, you know, get older and, things droop and drop that you don't want. And, gray hair comes in. And like, if you source your happiness and security on something like that, that's dangerous. And so I always just want to know, like, who I am really, and that eternal quest for wanting to know who I am, and then learning and actually seeing it, feeling it. I actually had an outer body experience that showed me that we are all divine and we all have that connection to God, to source, to creator, God, goddess, whatever you want to call it. We all have that connection. We are all part of source, creator, God, and it's in us. That's who we are. That's our eternal being. That's what doesn't change. And when you can find that within you, become one with it, friends with it, your best friend with it, it becomes you. You unite with that part of you that's holy and divine. You feel like this bliss and this peace and this joy within that you can't get from anyone or anywhere else. And it's like this, you become this whole being. And then it's just this light that you can't help but give out to the world, because like, oh my gosh, it's all within me. I am it. I am the light. I am the divine. It's here. And then no one can ever take that from you. You could never lose that. Or you could lose everything in your life. Your house could burn down. I mean, being in Hawaii and the lava flow, I've met so many people that lost their entire house in the blink of an eye. Everything they've owned in their life just gone, and like, you can lose loved ones, people die, and all of that is temporary. But the one thing that can't be taken away from you is what you gain from when you seek that journey and that path to go, not out there, but to go within, to find the jewel and the love and the beloved within your own heart.
And what would you recommend to people to, how could people have that moment click like you did? I think in the book you say it's through practice of meditation.
Yeah. I think that it's different for everybody. So there's not like one answer. And since we're all individual, unique beings with a history, and through our Akashic record or our book of life, we have just a colorful history and life experiences that it can come in different ways for people. But I think definitely for everybody, it needs to be when your mind and your mind chatter, like the normal everyday mind chatter, is quiet, because that's the only way it could come through. Because otherwise this thing, this brain, will just keep going, and then it's too noisy, and you'll never tune in, you'll never hear or feel or sense, because it's not something that's just gonna, like, knock you in the head. It's just, over time, you slowly peel back layers and layers and layers until you have, like, really cemented that within you.
Mm. So taking time in the day to be quiet. I know I like in this chapter here on the archetypes, I love what you say about humans, about coming into this lifetime to be a heart-centered human. And this book is so deep and so heavy. So you talk about being human, and then you talk about tapping into the heartfeltness. And I love the way you start talking about the whole world talks about mindfulness and this rage with mindfulness. And I use that word too, because it's the only word that people are starting to understand a little bit. And you say it's the rage and the fad mindfulness, and mainstream media talking about mindfulness. But you say that you believe it's almost another way. You said, why don't we call it heartfulness instead of mindfulness? Because over time, I believe you learned to practice into tapping into your heart center
Yes.
and putting your arms around your heart and loving your heart. And I think with practice of quieting the mind and life experience, you maybe start to see what's really important and get into your heart as a very simple way of describing. Also, it is simple. We make things a lot of times much harder than they are. But then you have to kind of become mindful or more heartfulness of it.
No, I think mindfulness is a good word for people that are just starting out on their journey and just starting out to wake up and to become more spiritually aware. That, you know, because there's all different levels of consciousness, and we're all growing at different levels and rates. So sometimes people need to hear mindful, and like that, it's just like the beginning for them to just be in the moment. You know, you have to get in the present moment, and that's the first step. If you're not in the present moment, you're never going to know who you really are. You're never going to find that true peace and happiness within. You just can't, because the ego mind, which is a tool that has taken over, and which is how the most of the collective lives through this whole vortex around the ego mind, will constantly keep you busy, 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 busy. And you'll never take the time or have the opportunity to get to know your true self. And there's like this beautiful, it's like everything that you search for outside of you that you think will bring you happiness and beauty, and it's all within you. And there's like this beautiful like mind of gold within you, all these jewels and beautiful everything within you. But we don't look here. Usually we're just trained to look out there, and it's a program, and we just have to try to stop it and retrain ourselves. And it does take time, and it took me many, I mean, I've been on this path and this journey of consciously working on healing myself since 2003. So now it's 2022. So that's what, almost 20 years. I mean, that's a long time. You know,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
didn't come, it just didn't happen for me.
Exactly. And you'll keep getting more and more observant on the path and more tapped into your heart. So I keep getting the chills. I got the chills twice. I want to go back to what you were saying earlier about the partnership and always wanting that partner to make you feel beautiful. And it's the most wonderful feeling when you finally tap into yourself and have that sense of self-love. And this doesn't mean that, you know, we're going to be a bunch of women and men that only want to love ourselves. And, you know, of course, we still want partnerships to come into our life, but these partnerships can be so much stronger when each person individually kind of realizes who they are and has their own self-love. And then two people who love themselves can be so strong, can be so much stronger together instead of like a needy type of love.
Yes, exactly. When I don't know that I read this book so many years ago. It had to be like 15 years ago, and I don't remember what it was, but it was so simple. I think it was maybe a children's book. I don't even know, but I just remember the pictures. I'm a very visual person. So, okay, so basically the book was like, if you're a half circle, like half, and you meet another person, of course, who's going to mirror you, and they're a half circle, and you come together, you make a full circle, right? But if you come apart, you're back to your half. So that's codependent. So you're only complete together. But if you're already a circle and you come together with another circle, you become strong. See, there's like that bond you can't break.
Beautiful.
You come apart, you're still your complete circle. And I don't know, I just, that visualization of this, the half circle coming together, being codependent versus you're already whole. And when you're already whole, you will naturally meet someone else who's already whole, and then you come together, but it's two circles, and then you actually make a third circle in the middle. which is the Holy Spirit, which is God, which is the divine. It's that other energy, which, no one really talks about, but it's not really our fault, because we're just brought up with like TV and media and Hollywood, which was always about like, oh, finding the one and your true love and all the fairy tales. And that, I think it did more harm than good for people. It's just like we're so programmed to feel that our love and happiness can only come from somebody else or something externally.
So beautifully said. And everyone's talking about this lately, but I feel that you described it just now so beautifully. I got the chills again. And then in the book, as you talk about your own life and truly doing the things that you talk about, like you said, it's not our fault. Life just became so busy, and we almost have to unlearn a lot of the things we learned and just get back to tapping into our soul and our mind, body, and spirit, and slowing down a little bit to observe. And sometimes I always say, Deepak Chopra says that you slow down to go faster instead of just spinning out of control and not mindfully, mindfully doing what we're doing and enjoying mindfully and heartfeltly each thing on our journey. So even heartfeltly is a good word to enjoy every little task that you're doing on your journey. Like pay attention while you're washing the dishes even could become a nice meditation. And when I first got on with Soulfire today, I said, wow. I said, she looks beautiful. We've been talking on the phone on Sunday nights. I have my soulful chats with Soulfire on Sunday nights. And I haven't seen her since she's been in New York. And I'm not going to blame it on Hawaii. She's probably going to blame it a little. We could blame it a little on being in Hawaii, but I think it's more because she even told me, I'm going to have her tell me, but I think she looks so good because she's truly practicing this and becoming her own beloved. And what did you say to me when I told you how good you look?
I don't know.
Because you're practicing being, I'm going to have you say it.
Being in my inner child, being in my joy, just being in my joy, being light, being in my joy. Yeah.
She's being in her joy and she's being light. And it's not because she's on vacation in Hawaii yet. She's been writing this book. I mean, come on, that's not being on vacation, writing a book. This book is so heavy duty. I would like to come back and have a few more detailed talks about it. But she's been writing her book. She just had, I don't want to talk about it yet, but she had the most chaotic, stressful situation just today. And maybe we will talk about it now. Actually, it is a good idea because she looks beautiful. And she had a really chaotic day, something that would maybe put people, she said she was going to cancel, but she said, no, let's do this because you know what, life, there's never a perfect time. I've been saying I want to come and talk about her book and get the message out for a while. There's never a perfect time. And she just had the most chaotic day. And she didn't even get a chance to shower and freshen up before she's coming on Zoom. And she looks beautiful. And I am going to have her maybe quickly tell you what she just went through, because right there is the proof in the pudding where she practiced what she talks about. And then you become calm and joyful and beautiful, and you get divinely guided through stressful situations in life.
Yeah.
So you want to share a little, it wasn't what we were supposed to talk about, but you know what? This is real life and this happened. And she's staying joyful and beautiful because of following her divine guidance.
Yeah. So I got to a car accident last night and it was my first one. First one in Hawaii, I think probably my first one ever with somebody else. And that's pretty good at 52 years old to have never gotten to a car accident. So it really shook me up. I was kind of traumatized because I hit this guy. He was turning in front of me and I had no time. And I'm a very careful driver. I drive like a grandma to begin with. So this SUV cuts me off and I like screamed and hit my brakes and I couldn't stop in time. There was just no time and I hit him. And I had my Karma, my service dog with me in the car and I was I was just shocked. I was traumatized. And he comes over and he says, "Are you okay?" And that was the only thing he said to me. And I looked at him and I said nothing because I was like in shock. And it turned out that something was wrong, something was off, and I could feel it. I was alone and he felt very dark. His energy just felt, and I was a little nervous. So right away I called on Archangel Michael for protection. And I thought we were going to exchange insurance cards, but no, he said the police are on their way. And then this cop came, and the cop didn't even ask me what happened. And I could tell they were friends because they were laughing. They were standing there like laughing and talking. And like, I'm sitting like shaking, and the cop didn't ask me anything. It was just, I left there feeling just not cared about or protected. Like it was wrong. Something was wrong. The cop said, "Oh, it's no fault, Hawaii. Just take this." He didn't give me any information from the other guy, nothing. So I went home. I saged. I did all I could to just get myself in a good place, because I knew I had to wake up at 5 a.m. and go teach yoga and other classes this morning. And thankfully I was okay, and so was my dog, and that was the most important thing. And my car was still drivable. So as I was teaching, between classes, I sit and meditate because I have an hour break. And there's this beautiful beach where I'm at. I mean, like I'm in Hawaii. So I'm sitting and I'm doing my meditation, and I asked for purification and transmutation of, first of all, okay, so there's a couple of aspects to the story which I want to share, because I think it's important that everyone, and it's not something like I'm really proud of, but I'm going to share it today for the first time.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yesterday, because I walk my talk, and I'm not going to be some person that's going to tell you to do something if I don't do it myself from my own being. So yesterday when this is all happening, and I'm like, that guy is, no, I'll tell you, that guy was a dick. And I was like, I kind of lost it on him. I started cursing, "Motherfucker, like, you know, this is your fault. Why did you do that?" Like, I was just kind of losing it. And like, as I was leaving, going home, I said, okay, why? I asked my higher self and the wisdom of the universe, why is this happening? I know that I'm playing a role in this, even though it was obviously his fault that he cut me off. But, and on the police report, it says it's his fault. But in the grand scheme of things, the law of attraction, which is what I teach and what I live by, it's never only somebody else's fault. It's partly your fault. I had a part to play in it. I had a role to play in it. So I asked my higher wisdom, what is it that I'm supposed to learn from this? And like immediately I got it. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay. So lately, I don't know why, but for the last few months, I've been like really getting annoyed very easily and angry, like so angry at everybody on the road, at my car, like at traffic. And the other day I just lost it on my car, and I was like driving home, and I just had like a total meltdown in my car, and I realized, you know, all of that, those outbursts of anger go somewhere. This is what I totally got this download. It was like my higher self talking to me. It's like, you know better. You say you're an alchemist and a spiritual teacher. Well, where is that anger going when you have an outburst and you have a little temper tantrum, Soulfire? Where does it go when your computer doesn't work and the Wi-Fi and your phone, and you're hitting your phone and you're banging on your car and you're like, ah, just that outburst of all that energy of anger. I feel like it just came together to boom, showed up in an accident. That's what I got. And I felt it, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't want to be angry like that. And I don't want to outburst it, because I need to transmute it, and I need to keep staying in my center. And yeah, it's okay to get angry. That's part of being human, but I need to control it better. And I apologize to my car. Her name is Gracie. And I realized, because like last month, I had a total temper tantrum in my car. And that anger goes somewhere. And I felt like she got the brunt of that accident. You know, she got hit and she's all like damaged in the front. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I really try to not have those little meltdowns. And send my anger out to the world. If I'm angry, I'm just going to do deep breathing, go home and do some burpees, you know, and maybe go for a swim in the ocean and just transmute it. But I can't be doing that. I can't. It's not okay. And I wouldn't do that in front of my students. Well, no, maybe I would sometimes, but like, I just need to be more responsible for my energy, and especially those outbursts of anger that I was having. And so that's my role in attracting the accident to me. Because like I said, yeah, it was his fault, but I'm part of that. I'm part of that equation and that law of attraction. And how did I attract that into my life, that trauma, to shake me up, to say, okay, like, what is this teaching you? So that was the one thing that came to me last night, and it actually calmed me down, because I knew I was partly responsible and I could change that. And then I went to work, and as I was meditating between classes, I asked for guidance and for it to all be transmuted, and for it to help me with the insurance, because I'm feeling not supported, and like he's just going to walk away and nothing's going to happen. And like, I need to stand up for myself. And so I go to the police department. And so right after class, I literally drove right there. It was on the way home. And I walked into the lobby and I said, aloha. And the guy that came to the window, who greeted me, I said, I was in a car accident yesterday. And before I could even finish my sentence, he said, at the industrial park? I said, yeah. He said, I came to the scene, but you're already gone. And he just started talking. He said, I wrote up the report. He said, the guy that you hit was actually an off-duty police officer, and he did you wrong, and he shouldn't have left. The whole thing was done wrong. He should have waited. He should have called it in to the right people and waited. And I was like, what? Like, it was so like, I was just blown away that here was this guy, this angel that was like, and he's like, came out and he's like, let me see your car. I showed him my car. He goes, okay, yep. He goes, I wrote up the whole report. He said he was at fault. I have it all down. Here's the report. This is the insurance. This is the number you're going to call. Now I can see your car and it's been damaged and you don't have to worry, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like wanting to cry. But I just said, can I give you a hug? And he said, yes. So I hugged him and I said, thank you so much. Like, he was just like, my prayer was answered, you know, and that wasn't on my to-do list. I had a to-do list. And it was like, I go here, I had 4 errands to run after work, and that wasn't one of them. But it was like, go to the police department, you know, because I was just meditating. I was quieting my mind and listening for that divine guidance through my heart. Not this thing is gonna like always mess you up. And this, listen to this and feel from your gut where to go and what to do. And when you do that, you just get this huge confirmation that the universe loves and supports you and is not going to leave you. Like, that's what happens to me. It's not even so much that I got into a car accident. I feel hurt because I felt like he wasn't nice to me, and the police officer that showed up wasn't nice to me, and I wasn't being supported, and like that hurts. I'm like, you know, like that's what hurt me more. So like when this guy like came forward, and he was such a man of integrity, a police officer of integrity, and he said, he's wrong and we're bringing it to the superiors. I was like, thank you, like someone's being accountable, you know, and I'm being supported, I'm being validated. And that just relieves that from me. Like, and it just showed me that when you do quiet your mind, the universe, Gaia, I'm very connected to the Mother Earth, to Gaia, will 100% come through for you.
Beautiful. And everybody can do that. It's when we start quieting down, like Soulfire said, she had her to-do list. So there's a chance the brain might have said, oh no, don't go to the police station, go to the supermarket, go do this. Oh, you're meeting Lori tonight. The brain may have said that. You know how many times do people say, I should have listened to my gut. I should have listened to my gut. And everybody has the superpower not just Soulfire, but everybody has the superpower to quiet their mind and tap into that gut. And everybody, my whole life, I've been hearing people say, I should have listened to my gut. So when you're quiet, and the more you quiet the mind, the more your gut and your heart talk to you. And that meditation after she did the yoga class and during teaching the yoga class, no, she listened to the gut and went to the police station and she got justice. She got justice and relief.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to recap, because there was so many messages in that was beautiful. Maybe this is why we're supposed to do this today, because instead of just talking about all these quotes, we ended up having a real life experience for Soulfire to talk about. And thank you for your honesty, because another big thing that came up is law of attraction. And a lot of people don't get this part of law of attraction. So I just want to explain it. Soulfire was very honest in we have to take responsibility for everything that happens to us. So she said, why did I have a car accident? And it's subconsciously. A lot of people don't buy this, but she's been practicing this for 20 years plus, and she was able, first, she didn't realize, but she went back in her subconscious and she said, I've been angry lately. Even with her saying this, a lot of people probably won't buy it, but we really do need to take responsibility for every single thing that happens to us in life. And it's a hard one to grasp, but her anger, she believes is what turned into that accident, kind of combustion. But also I want to say, we're both spiritual teachers, and I even want Soulfire to know not to totally beat herself up when she's saying she can't be angry because and I know you know this, Soulfire, but the other little part of that is someone asked me recently, what do you say to someone when they get road rage, and what would I say to them? And it's okay to get angry and maybe instead of pounding on your car, pound on the pillow, but it's okay to get angry and have a little curse in your car by yourself, because we don't want to just suppress our emotions. And yes, even yogis and spiritual teachers get angry and curse. Life gets really frustrating, but as long as you don't hold on to that. So she really learned how she can even improve herself by, maybe not being so angry as often and catching it, but and being aware. So now she's going to curtail that, but it is okay to have emotions and have an outburst when bad things happen. It doesn't mean to suppress your anger. So yes, even yogis are allowed to curse and get a little angry, as long as we don't hold on to it and start being, nasty to people and harm people. But it's a natural emotion. So when I'm trying to say it's okay to also express to have emotions and not suppress them. And then you just don't want to, you want to be, acknowledge the anger and, and why is it coming up? And then you do a ritual to calm yourself down and be peaceful, let it out, breathing technique, meditation. Like she said, do some burpees, go for a swim, but it just doesn't mean to totally, suppress your emotions. And you're not a bad person for being angry and cursing a little when life gets a little frustrating.
Yeah, I was just going overboard and I was taking it a little bit too far for me. And I knew it, I felt it, I was allowing it to fester, and that's not like me. And so it was just like a pattern that was taking a strong hold, and it's like you said, combusted into that accident. That was for me a good teaching, to just be like, okay, you can let it go. You can be annoyed when people, it's because we live on this island, and it's Hawaii, and I try to really live by the aloha spirit, and that's slowly fading. And with more and more tourists and more people moving from the mainland and just kind of taking over, and they don't even know what aloha means, and it's fading, and it's sad. And I think that was all part of it. I don't want it to fade. And so, because it's so nice to live by aloha, And I've experienced that
Tell us
here.
about aloha. Tell us the meaning of aloha.
There's so many meanings. And I have a whole chapter in my book about this. It's just like when I started to learn more and more about that word, it's so deep and there's so many meanings and people have
Tell us
different.
one. Tell us one. And then
Uh,
we'll come back and we're going to have another book chat and get more into the book.
it's like, it's a greeting and it's saying hello and goodbye as a greeting, but it's always honoring the spirit, the breath, and the presence of the divine between the two of you, within you, and that presence there when you greet someone. Like it's always there. It's like simple, almost like namaste. It's like
Yeah.
aloha. And when you say aloha with somebody, you make eye contact. Like Hawaiian traditional, you put your foreheads together, and then you take a deep breath and you share ha is breath, and you share the breath of the divine. That's how they traditionally greeted. It's beautiful. And
Yeah.
it's happened to me when I've been here and I've witnessed local Hawaiians greet each other that way. It's so beautiful to witness. And I'm like, so I try to hold on to that spirit and the energy, and I really try to just like be that. Sometimes it's challenging when it's being lost and people are coming here and they're coming with their, attitude of, well, I'm here and I'm just going to take this or do this or run through that stop sign or not let you go or cut you off because I'm who I am, and it's so that attitude really infuriates me. And I was allowing part of that, that's part of it, to get to me, and just to be angry at the world here. Like, why are these people coming with their attitude? And God, it just got the best of me, So
Well, thank you for your honesty. It's such an important thing right now to talk about because there's a lot of anger in the world right now. And that's why, as spiritual teachers and teaching yoga, which yoga just means connecting the body, mind, and spirit, and teaching mindfulness and how to become more heartfulness, little by little, like Soulfire realized this, but then she gets it under control after 2 weeks, and she didn't, hurt anyone. She pounded on a car a little bit, and then she became aware, a few weeks later. So at least that awareness and practicing of mindfulness and heartfeltness and spirituality, she owns up to it. So imagine if the whole world did this. So imagine if the whole world got a little frustrated and realized after a couple of weeks, and because they pounded on their phone and pounded on their car and was holding some frustration, and then got themselves together. We're human. So as long as you're aware and you get yourself together, you can't just, so even in Hawaii, this happens. Like there's no such thing as some outer place where there's going to be peace, but that is our dream for the world. So if we all could just practice this, if we all could learn, like Soulfire said, it's not our fault. The world is just racing. And if more people, more ordinary people that are going to be honest and talk about, tools that they use, simple tools to practice and become aware, and then the whole world could start calming ourselves down. Right?
we all need a collective calm down.
A collective calm down. So why don't we end this talk with a collective calm down? Would you like to guide us in a little heart meditation, and we could all take a breath together?
Sure. So wherever you are, you can either sit with a tall spine or lie down comfortably on your back and take a deep breath. We're going to start by breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So take a deep breath in through your nose and let your belly expand like a big balloon. So you're relaxing your belly muscles. And then exhale for twice as long through your mouth. Just let all the tension go from your body. We're going to do that a couple more times. So eyes are closed. Breathe in through your nose. Relax your belly. Breathe down into your belly. Exhale audibly through your mouth. And just feel all the thoughts from your mind dissolving away. One more time, deep breath in. Breathe out. Let your organs relax. And then just breathe naturally. You can take your hands and rub them briskly together. And you want to actually feel this energy, this heat, when you rub them really briskly, really heat up. When you feel your hands getting really hot, just place them on the crown of your head. Just visualize the energy from your hands dripping down into your brain and relaxing your mind, so your mind empties and clears out. This peaceful, quiet mind. Turning the mind off, and then gently slide your fingertips down your beautiful face, giving you a little facelift, a little energy here. And just draw your hands down right above your heart center. You can cross your hands if you want. This is your etheric heart, or your higher heart, and it's right above the sternum. And just hold your hands here and breathe into this portal. When we feel things like emotions, we feel it through our heart or our gut, really. We don't feel through our mind, right? How could you feel something through your mind? When you feel a surge of love or peace or gratitude or appreciation, you feel that in your heart. This is your power center. This is your strength right here. Your heart is your strength. Just breathe into that beautiful, beautiful heart of yours, where there exists a little jewel or a lotus. You can visualize little lotus petals blossoming open as you breathe. As you inhale this beautiful white light into your heart center, it is expanding and opening this lotus. All the petals are blooming, opening. I believe that most humans are good and have a good heart. I think we've all been beaten down in this lifetime a lot, and our mind has kind of taken over. And that's okay. And now we're on a journey to just send love to our mind and allow it to just quiet down, so we can return back to our heart, where our strength lies and our power lies, where our goodness lies. Because I know most people are good and care. I know that. And with all of the adversity and obstacles that we experience individually and collectively in our lives, that human beings still are good, and they want to be kind, and they still help other people, and they still will go out of their way to be nice, because I experienced that in my life, and I try to be that no matter what. And if you're listening right now and you're joining us in our experience, I want you to breathe into your heart, into your beautiful heart. This is where your resilience lies, your determination, your perseverance, and your strength. And I want you to honor yourself, because if you have had adversity in your life and you still manage to get up every day and smile and go on and live your life and still be a light and be kind to others, then you have been a master of your life beyond. beyond what anyone could have even asked for, because it's not easy. And I think, to me, that is the most beautiful spiritual practice, to wake up every day and still go out and just be a kind person, be humble, be nice, do something for somebody else. And you know what? That goes such a long way. I just want you to honor yourself for making it through this lifetime to this point where we're at now, because I know it has not been easy, and that it is going to get easier. That I know. It might take some time, maybe not till the end of this year, I don't know. But right now, I can tell you through my own life experience that my whole life has been a struggle, and I'm starting to feel the energy of the divine feminine and of the goddess and of the mother. Like, really feel it. Like, here, like Mother Mary is here, like all of the goddesses are here, Mother Gaia is here, and they're going to love you and support you and help you through your life going forward. And I'm telling you, just start to meditate more and quiet your mind more and ask for that guidance, and you're going to start to feel it in your life. And it's so beautiful. It's a love that you've never felt before. And that divine feminine love is actually a reflection of the love that you have within your own heart. So I asked you to give that love back to yourself. And maybe we can exchange the word love for acceptance. When you accept yourself for all of you, good, the bad, the ugly, the sad, whatever, and just accept yourself, that's unconditional love. And that's what the Divine Mother does for us. She loves us no matter what. She sees us. She sees me having my temper tantrums and my anger outbursts, but she still loves me. And that's what I want you to start practicing, to give back to yourself. I'll just stay here for a couple more deep breaths. From my heart to yours, I am transmitting the love of the divine feminine, that nurturing, unconditional love to you. Receive in your heart, because you deserve it. Breathe in, open your heart, and receive it. You are loved so much. You are loved. You are holy, and you are whole already. It's within you. That light, that divinity is already within you. And there's nothing you need to do. It's already there, and it's beautiful. So own that. Thank you. Namaste. Aloha.
Thank you. Namaste. Aloha. That was so beautiful.
Well, I'm just a reflection of you, sister.
Thank you.